I'm going to be starting off with a fresh face. I have already prepped my skin and moisturized. While my moisturizer is sinking in, I'm going to move on to the brows. And I'm using the Anastasia Dipbrow Pomade to just quickly fill them in. And then I will go in with some concealer and clean up the edges just so that way they don't look too overdrawn. Once I'm done with that, I'll take the same concealer and just go ahead and pat that onto my eyelids, and this is going to act as my eyeshadow base. I like to blend that out using a beauty blender, and then I'll go ahead and set the rest of my concealer using a loose translucent powder. So I'm super excited today. I'm going to be using the 35K palette, which I have been loving so much recently, and I'm going to start off by picking up this dusty pink shade, and I'm using my Sigma E40 brush to apply this into the crease and slightly up onto the brow bone. This is going to act as my transition shade. It's going to help all the other colors come together really nicely. So I just go back and forth and build up the color until I get it to as dark as I want it to be before moving on to the next color. Then I'm going to mix two different shades together. I'm going to be picking up this beautiful burnt orangish brown color and mixing it with a deeper, darker reddish brown shade. And I'm going to apply this into the crease and continue building up the color, and then once I'm done with that, I'll go back in and blend that out. Next, I'll be moving on and picking up this white shade from the palette. I'm just packing this right onto the lid. I'm going to mainly focus this on the inner corner towards the center of the eye because I will go back in and add a darker color to the outer corner. So mostly focusing this towards the inner corner and the middle part of the eye. Just packing this on, building up the color until I get it to as intense as I want it to be. And these shades, you guys, this palette just blends so beautifully. I loved working with this palette. And then I'm picking up a darker brown color and just packing this onto the outer corner of the eye. And this brush that I'm using has seriously made applying color to the outer corner of my eye so easy. I don't know what it is about how it's angled, or I have no idea, but it just blends colors like a dream and it places them perfectly on the outer corner of the eye. It's the Morphe M440 brush. And then, of course, I'm just going to blend that out again using the brush that I used to apply the crease color, just so that way all of the colors come together really nicely. Then I'll take that same white shade that I applied on my lid and just pop this right underneath, right onto the brow bone. And you can go ahead and add more color to the lid if you feel like you lost any color throughout the blending process. And now I'm just cleaning up those edges using a makeup removing wipe and moving on to eyeliner. I'm starting by flicking my brush outwards and then turning it around and dragging it towards the inner corner of my eye. So all the way across the lid till I reach the inner corner of my eye. And I'm so happy I was actually able to get some decent footage of me applying my eyeliner, because usually I'm so up close to the mirror that I can never get this part on camera because it's never in focus. So I hope that this was helpful. I was so excited when I was looking over this. I was like, yes, finally, a good clip of me doing my eyeliner. Well, sort of. Moving on to lashes. I'm so excited about these lashes, you guys. These are the KoKo lashes in the style Goddess, and I have been obsessed with them. Obsessed with them. They're seriously my favorite lash right now. I used the Mary Kay foundation primer, and I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation and just blending this onto my face using the Morphe E6 brush. And just blending this out, I do really love this foundation. If you're looking for a great matte foundation that's affordable from the drugstore, definitely check it out. It is one of my favorites. Now, using my Maybelline Master Conceal again, I'm going to just place this underneath my eyes. Moving on to highlighting, I'm going to highlight my chin, down the center of my nose, and right up onto my forehead as well. And then, of course, like always, blending that out using my Beauty Blender. I feel like the Beauty Blender is the best way possible to blend out concealer because it picks up any of that excess product and doesn't leave you looking cakey. Then, of course, setting my concealer using a loose translucent powder, and this is the Real Techniques setting brush. Now I'm picking up some bronzer. This is the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer, and just applying this to the hollows of my cheeks, up onto my forehead, and down my nose. If you guys haven't smelled the Too Faced bronzers, you have to smell them next time you go in the store because they smell like chocolate. It's so delicious. I love when I'm applying these because they just smell so good. So once I'm done with that, I'm going to move on to blush, and I'm taking Makeup Geek blush in the color Spellbound and just applying this onto my cheeks. And then once I'm done with that, I will go ahead and blend that out using a blending brush. For highlighter, I decided to go with Marylouminizer, and I'm going to apply this to the high points of my face. So right above the cheekbones, above the brows, onto the nose, and then I decided that I wanted a little bit more of a contoured look. So I'm picking up my Marc Jacobs Light Filtering Contour Palette and applying the contour shade into the hollows of my cheeks, up onto the temples, and then I'm also going to contour a little bit underneath the chin and down the nose as well. And this is just going to add some more definition to my face. When I'm doing the contour on my nose, I like to use a small blending brush because you want to be really careful when you're doing the nose contour because you could really change the appearance of your features when you're using this technique. So of course, blend out the contour once you're done with that, and then I picked up some of that highlight shade from my Marc Jacobs palette, and I'm just cleaning up that contour line and making sure that it's really sharp and crisp. And then, of course, blending that out as well. Now I'm picking up some black eyeliner. I believe this one is by L'Oreal. And just applying this to the inner waterline and then down onto the lower lash line and smudging that out just using a blending brush. And then I'm going to pick up that burnt orange shade from the palette that I went in with for the crease and just using that to blend out the lower lash line, and of course adding some mascara to the lower lashes as well, and adding just a little bit more of that white shade for a pop in the inner corner of the eye. So I wanted to show you guys two different options for the lip color. The first one, I went with like a mauve nude pink color, and then for the second lip, I went in and did like a deeper, darker, vampy lip, which I loved. That's how I ended up keeping this makeup look, was with the darker lip. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.